Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to Agape Collective. My name is Eleni, and I am very delighted that you found my channel and that you're here. This video, if it has found you, it is definitely meant for you. I'm really excited to discuss this topic today, which is on raising, teaching, educating children in a world of narcissists, which I feel is a very important topic to discuss, and especially important for those that are recovering from a narcissistic relationship or any toxic relationship, that is, and especially those that do have children and want some insight into what we can pass on for knowledge and wisdom to our children, in a world where this kind of toxicity unfortunately does exist. So before we get into the topic, I like to start my videos with a little bit of a tune-in with some sound and just tuning into ourselves and our bodies through our breath. So if you can find yourself a nice, comfortable and quiet place, I'll just guide you through a quick little breathing exercise, okay? So here we go. So just tuning in to your body. And taking a deep breath in, deep into the core of your belly. Hold that breath and exhale. And just allow yourself to melt into this present moment through your breath. We're not here to change anything right now. All we're doing is observing and tuning in to this present moment, to just be with our breath. And I'd like to invite you to remember that you are connected to something far greater than your human mind can comprehend. And when we take the opportunity to just be with ourselves, to breathe, we are connecting to the source. We are connecting to the earth. And through each inhale and exhale, we are connecting to the pulsing of life. Breathe. Breathe. With every inhale and every exhale, we are connecting to the pulsing of life. you feel ready, just take a moment to wiggle your toes and your fingers and gently opening your eyes. Okay, well, now that we're all grounded and tuned in to ourselves and our breath, we can be open to receive the message of this video. So let's get into it. Okay, so today's topic on educating children in a world of narcissists. I would like you to keep in mind that this video isn't just for those who are wanting to learn what it is that they should be educating their children on, but also could be for your own inner child. Because at the end of the day, the whole point that a lot of us have even experienced these types of toxic relationships or experienced a narcissist is because we're lacking a lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about today. So just to make that clear that this video is for anyone, whether you have children or not, this is beneficial for the child outside of you and for the child within you. So there's two things here that are very, very important. And the first one is educating yourself and children on what toxic behaviors are. What does a toxic relationship look like? You know, what things to look out for? Because when we can educate ourselves and our children on what toxic behaviors are, what things we shouldn't be putting up with, which things are inappropriate and not acceptable, then they will be aware of what to look out for. But with that said, what I feel is even more effective long term is to really assist building a solid foundation within your child and within yourself so that they are connected to their inner sovereignty. Because it is not recognizing that we are sovereign, not being connected to our inner divine union, that leads us astray in searching for something outside of ourselves to make us whole. And if we can raise our children to be whole and sovereign within themselves, that is the greatest protection that we can offer them, is to know themselves. There are many ways that we can educate ourselves and children on how to really tap into that inner sovereignty. And I'm going to share 7 different ways that we can do that today. And the first one is helping them build a solid foundation within themselves by encouraging them to build a certain level of confidence and worth by helping them or supporting them in reaching small attainable goals. The reason why this one is so important is because confidence brings people into a place of truly understanding their worth and from a humble place. And humility does not mean that you don't celebrate yourself, that you stay small. Humility means that you know who you are and that you're proud of what you have been given. You're grateful for what you have been given. You're grateful for who you are and your experiences. And you move through the world as you are, unapologetically. And it's very important that children learn and build this sense of worth and confidence. Because when we do not feel confident and when we are lacking worth, we will more likely end up in the hands of a narcissist. Because if you recognize how wonderful you are, if you understand your value, if your child understands their value, they will not allow the types of behaviors that play out in toxic relationships. And the thing is, like, I'm speaking from my own experiences. And what I have experienced through the toxic relationships I've been in and the narcissists that I was in a relationship with is that all of the signs in the beginning are there. The red flags are there. But when we do not recognize our value and our worth, we will ignore those flags to hang on to the idea that that person is presenting us. Or because we don't know our worth, we are accepting certain behavior that we shouldn't because we don't believe that we deserve any better. And a lot of this can be happening subconsciously as well. And this is why it's so important to educate our children of this beautiful world to really value themselves and have confidence in what they're doing. And the best way for them to learn, for any of us to learn and build our confidence, is to create these small attainable goals and achieve them. And sometimes in achieving them we fail, and that is okay, because it is through failure that we are able to gather our strength and try again. So this is a very important step for children and our inner child to learn. Number 2 is emotional regulation. This is a very big factor, I feel, in toxic relationships, and especially with narcissists, because gaslighting is a thing that happens on the daily with a narcissist. And a lot of the times it's bringing about shame in emotion and really trying to get a reaction out of a person. And so we have all been really conditioned to turn away from our emotions and shut out our emotions and kind of deem them as weaknesses, when in fact our emotions are actually profound messengers and teachers that provide us signals and information into what is going on within us, where we may be out of balance, where our needs may not be met within a relationship or any type of interaction with others. And if we can teach ourselves and our children how to emotionally regulate, how to actually feel what we are feeling from a place of observation and curiosity, then we can come to a place where we can be students to our emotions and be more tuned in to what it is that we're feeling. And it is our job for ourselves to hold space for our inner child by allowing ourselves the space and the time to feel whatever it is that we are feeling. It is a very dangerous thing to shut out and turn away from our feelings, because they will only grow louder or into some type of an illness or present a deeper issue. And so it is important that we teach children how to sit and be with their emotions by providing them with a safe and sacred space to express themselves and feel whatever it is that they need to feel. There is so much profound magic and wisdom when we allow ourselves to just move through the emotion. Just like the saying where they say the only way out of pain is through it. That is extremely true. When we allow ourselves to move through our emotions, we will be out of that quicker than if we run away from it. And this is so beneficial when it comes to educating children in a world of narcissists, because when they're able to hold space for their emotions, and they've experienced adults in their lives that are able to hold space for their emotions, when they come up against somebody with a toxic behavior who is deeming and shaming and trying to get a rise out of a person, that is not going to feel right to them. And they're going to know that they don't need to hold on or feel validated for whatever it is that they're feeling, because they know themselves and they know that it is okay and it is not a weakness to feel and to experience the realm of emotion. And the other important factor about emotional regulation is that it allows children to learn that they can work through their emotions themselves, that they don't need to be afraid of their emotions, that it's okay. It is okay to feel what you're feeling, and it provides them the confidence to move through it and work it through themselves and know that they're still loved. No matter what emotion they're experiencing, they are still loved. Number 3 is teaching them, or your inner child, how to identify their values and their boundaries. And then providing them opportunities to uphold them, to practice upholding them. Because when they do, they're able to see that they can advocate for themselves and think for themselves. I can't stress enough how important values and boundaries are. They truly, truly provide us protection. Because when we're able to clearly state what our values are and what our boundaries are, it puts us in a position where we are more present and conscious with what is true for us, what is our truth. And when we are clear on what our truth is, we are more likely going to move towards wanting to honor ourselves than to allow inappropriate behavior into our lives. And I can tell you that when I was experiencing the narcissistic relationship that I was in, I was not aware of my boundaries or values. I may have thought I was, but I definitely was not. And the other reason why knowing our boundaries and values are so important and why this should be instilled in children is because they are an anchor. They allow us to be rooted and anchored within ourselves. And not only that, but it also acts as a filtering system. It filters all the ones that aren't meant to be in our lives out. And it helps you advocate for yourself so that you are being the most authentic version of yourself and are attracting the most authentic relationships outside of yourself. And by knowing our values and upholding our boundaries, we are able to observe others that are coming into our lives from a place of curiosity. It gives others the space and time to reveal their true selves to us. So when children understand what their values and boundaries are, they're able to show up fully and authentically in the world. And it allows them the opportunity to choose the people that come into their life from a more authentic and aligned place with their own inner truth. Number 4 is teaching the importance of responsibility, ownership, and choices. This is something that's very, very important children learn and understand, because there are many different archetypes within our subconscious that want to keep us from taking responsibility and ownership for the choices that we make. Especially having a victim mentality. When we get stuck in the subconscious archetype of the victim, it makes it very hard for us to actually feel empowered through the choices that we make, because we're so drenched and stuck in this victim state of mind. And the victim state of mind will bring about a lot of disconnection within and disempowerment, because the truth is, at the end of the day, we are powerful because we have the will to choose for ourselves. Whatever your circumstances may be, I understand it may feel like you don't have a choice, but at the end of the day, we always have a choice. Even when I think back to when I was in the narcissistic relationship and red flags started to reveal themselves to me, I remember a moment where I actually sat with myself and asked, what am I doing? This doesn't feel good. Like, this red flag that appeared, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. But I still chose to stay. I still chose to remain in that relationship, even though there were red flags showing themselves to me. And there's no one else that I can blame. There's no other reason that I can pin on why I was in that relationship, except for the fact that I chose to remain there. And part of the reason I chose to remain there is because I was lacking in worth, in knowing my value and my boundaries and all the things we previously talked about. And sometimes the choices we make may bring us to a place where we're experiencing hardship and challenge and pain, but it's usually because there's something there that we need to learn. There's something there that we need to see. And this is why children learning the value of ownership and responsibility is so important, because it empowers them. It empowers them to know that they have the ability to choose for themselves. And whatever that choice may be, there is always going to be an outcome that may be good or may be challenging. But either way, it leads them to where they need to be and to learn whatever it is they need to learn in order to grow and evolve as a human being on this planet. And not only that, but when they are in a relationship, whether it be toxic or healthy, when we are able to take ownership and responsibility for ourselves, for our choices, for our actions, then we are able to connect on a more harmonious and healthy level with others, because we can take responsibility for when we are wrong or when we do need to work closer to bringing forth balance and harmony within a relationship or within ourselves. So please, please teach the children that are in your life this importance of responsibility and ownership for choices, because when you do, they will also learn that they can overcome any of life's challenges that come up against them, and it will make them a much better partner in the future with whomever they come into contact with, because they're able to be responsible for their own selves, their own actions, their own emotions, and their own choices. Number 5 is learning how to tap into the body's intelligence and honor what you feel. This has become one of my most favorite things that I've had to learn, because it has actually been the hardest thing that I've had to come to know and learn through my experience, which is why I feel it is so incredibly beneficial to teach this to children and to your own inner child. Our bodies are so incredibly intelligent. It actually amazes me how intelligent our bodies are. We feel so much. Our bodies are constantly in communication with us, especially when we are at the beginning stages of getting to know somebody in a relationship. Your body is talking to you big time, whether it's through anxiety, gut feelings, feeling hot, feeling cold, so many different sensations, not being able to sleep, feeling pain in certain areas of your body. Your body communicates, and you better listen and teach your children how to listen, because I like to think of it like a snake. Think of your body as a snake. And what I mean by this is snakes are completely reliant on the intelligence of their body. To feel before you see, to feel before you hear, and to feel before you think. Whatever you're feeling in your body will give you a lot of information about a person. And what I mean by this, I'll give you a little example, because I know this may kind of sound out there. My body, when someone is being deceitful, I immediately feel it as like a gut feeling. But the mind is going to want more evidence. It's going to want to understand why you're having the feeling. But every time that I've had the feelings that I've had in my body, they've always been 1000% correct. But what has led me astray is not honoring the feelings, questioning them, and wanting more evidence. Which is okay, and if you're experiencing that, that is okay too, because this is all about learning. And this is why it's important to teach our children this, so that they can learn from early on what the signals of their body means. Because when we're not taught this, as adults, we have to go through these experiences to learn what these things mean for us. And it takes time. And sometimes it happens through going through painful experiences. But our body's intelligence is incredible and intuitive, and I can say it never, ever, ever lies. So teach your children how to tune in and listen and honor the intuitive intelligence of their body. Number 6 is exposing them to some form of spiritual practice, culture, and community. So whether you're religious or not, you don't have to be religious. You could just be spiritual. Maybe you don't have any form of spirituality, but having some form, just some form, whatever that may be for you, whatever resonates for you, it is very helpful in a person's journey to feel that spiritual connection, because it brings a deeper sense of belonging. It creates this sense of connection and peace and an ability to see different perspectives when we go through different life challenges, grief, pain. And without any form of spirituality, we can find ourselves getting stuck in a very, very dark place. And that's not to say that being on a spiritual path means you're not going to experience darkness. You, in fact, actually experience a lot of hardship and darkness and challenge, but it's the way that you move through it. And a lot of times having that spiritual connection provides you the strength and the will and the determination to actually move through and face whatever it is that is before you. Whereas not having that can actually lead people astray and into a place where they're running away from instead of facing and moving through. And the other aspect of this that's important is culture and community. I feel personally for myself, connecting with my culture really, really helped me in a lot of ways. It kept me rooted in myself and in who I am as a person. And it allows you to be connected to a community. So whatever your culture may be, or maybe you're not even aware of what your culture may be, as long as you can find yourself a sense of community, that is so beneficial for children, because it allows them to feel like they're part of something greater than themselves. And it is having these types of things like culture, community, and spirituality that helps one stay rooted within the core of who they are. And it's an area where identity and sovereignty can be bridged together, and that we're able to find ourselves as whole and a part of something, as an individual amongst the collective. And it's a really, really beautiful thing for not only ourselves to experience, but for children to experience in their lives. Because connection is everything. We are tribal beings. We are community-oriented beings. And if we do not have that connection, that is when we become disassociated with the true meaning of what it is to be human, and the separation that is already present in the world is creating so much mental and physical illness, and it is bringing this idea of connection and community back into our lives and into the lives of our children that will truly make us strong. Number 7 is embracing polarity. This is essential for children to learn and understand, because our entire existence was birthed out of polarizing energies and polarizing forces. This entire planet is all about polarity. And it is so important for us as human beings, our children, and our inner child to understand what polarity means. Because we've been so conditioned to see polarizing energies from a point of separation instead of point of connection. And it is that conditioning that has brought about a lot of shame, especially when it comes to connecting with ourselves. And what I mean by this is that we all have a shadow self and a lighter self. Qualities that we deem as good and acceptable and lovable, and qualities that we deem as bad, unacceptable, and unlovable. But the truth is that all of those things, whether bad or good, are all deserving of love. And that is what we need to teach our children. That just as the moon and the sun exist, not one is better than the other. They both serve a purpose. Our shadow self and our light self both serve a purpose. And so when for example, when we're experiencing an emotion such as anger, which is usually an emotion that is got quite a bad rap, it's deemed as unacceptable, especially for women. If we experience anger, we are going to feel shame that we felt anger or expressed our anger because it is deemed as bad. But if we can teach our children and our inner child that anger is not in fact bad, it is there to teach us. It is a polarizing energy that is there to teach us, to provide us with information, and that it does not mean that you are not deserving of love if you are expressing something that may be undesirable to society. This is what we need to move past. This is what we need to recover from, because it is this idea that is creating separation. And we need to see that polarity works together. The dark and light work together. Feminine and masculine work together. Night and day work together. The seasons, winter, summer, fall, spring, are all working together. Everything has its place. And this is an important concept to teach our children so that they know that all of them is accepted. All of them deserves love. Whether they're having a bad day or a good day, whether they're angry or they're happy, they're still deserving of love. And that is something our inner child really, truly needs to learn and know. That polarizing energies are working together for the benefit of our soul's evolution and growth on this planet. And I hope you know, if you're watching this, that all of you is welcome and all of you is deserving of love. And so that concludes our video for today. I thank you so much for being here and for listening to today's topic. I really, really hope that you gained something from this video, whether it's for a child in your life or for your own inner child. I hope that you felt some sort of resonance and are able to leave from this today with some more things to think about and assist you on your own journey. I'm sending you all lots of love and hugs, energetic hugs. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you feel called to, I would love if you subscribe to my channel, as there's much more to come. I am definitely in the works of creating some ebooks, like workbooks, to help people along their journey. So stay tuned for some of that. You can also follow me on Instagram at agape_collective. And I hope you have the most wonderful day. Bye.